Yeah, it was a good time, honey, under the sky. Yeah, it was a good time, honey, just you and I. Feeling alright.
Hey, welcome to All Wheels Podcast. This is episode 10. I'm Evan, and I am here with Brady and Max, as always. What's up, dudes?
Yo.
And we're joined with our buddy, Zack Bright. So we're going to do an interview today and hear about some pretty rad shit. So he is one of Brady's buddies and now ours. But Brady, tell us a little bit about Zack. And Zack, introduce yourself.
So I am very excited to introduce our first guest to the podcast. Woo-hoo. He's a retired pro stand-up jet ski free rider, 3-time vice world champion, hooligan flat track motorcycle racer, a father, a husband, a man with no knees, and my good friend, Zack freaking Bright.
Holy shit. Whoa. That is the best title I've ever heard in my life. You need business cards.
I tried to throw in some screwballs for him.
No knees.
You know
God.
what? It's
I'm half chub right now. I know about you guys, but that was an intro.
Crew Jones was cool, but now he's past.
Yeah, no, he was, but Helltrack doesn't have shit on Zack.
I'll send you the notes to that introduction if you guys couldn't keep track of all that, of all his accolades.
No, you blew my mind. I can't keep track of anything.
Zack, thanks for being here with us. How are you?
No, I'm stoked to be here. I have to say it's an honor to be the first guest on your guys' podcast. I think you guys have a really cool thing going on here.
Right.
And
Right on.
just happy to be here.
Well, good.
Nice.
We're happy to
No,
have
that's
you.
awesome. We're glad to have you for sure. Yeah, this is cool. We definitely want to do more interviews and figure out the right format to do that. So thanks for, being our guinea
Thanks
pig.
for- yeah, exactly.
To start working on that.
Oh, thank you guys. I'm stoked.
So Zack, in previous episode, actually it might have been the introduction where the term jet ski first was even mentioned. And then there was the talk of
It was.
stand-up jet ski because wave runners are not jet skis.
No, we don't talk about Sea-Doos.
So that's actually you. You are the one that corrected me of my lifelong mistake prior that wave runners are not jet skis.
No.
No, they're definitely not. But wait.
But it's everybody just relates that to it, right? It's a Sea-Doo. You ride Sea-Doos.
Yeah.
Technically Sea-Doos are Sea-Doos. Jet skis are actually Kawasaki's. They are marketed as Kawasaki's, and then Yamahas are wave runners. So
did Sea-Doo ever even make a stand-up?
they made a something. It's called a 3D.
Okay.
They basically took
Sounds very futuristic.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it does.
It was a hit. That's
When was this? Like 80s?
No, this was about in the 2000s. They basically took a Sea-Doo SP bottom.
I looked it up.
And they made this thing that it had a handle pull. You could stand on it, but the fact that it had a sit-down bottom, I mean, you can't really do anything on it.
Wow, that's strange.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then they added a cart seat so you could sit and ride it like a go-kart.
I see that. That guy looks so lame.
Yeah, but
Holy shit.
But to be fair, if you Google, if you type in all my crazy friends, Sea-Doo 3D, there's a guy, and I should know his name. I feel terrible for not remembering it right now, but he sent it on that thing.
Really?
Dude, he tried to backflip the thing. He was doing barrel rolls on it. I mean,
why do these things, okay, my first question is, why do these things always have the raddest names? Like Wave Blaster, Wave Raider, Aqua Jammer. Like,
right?
Who comes up with the names for these things?
Well, it was the
Somebody
80s, right? Like,
right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, Jetski is cool.
Yeah, I clearly somebody that was
but-
better at marketing than we are, right? I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't want to ride a wave blaster?
The same
Yeah,
guy
true.
that coined rad
Right?
came up
Yeah,
with these
I agree.
things.
I like to think it's the same dude who came, like in the 80s, you would always see like this like purple like triangle with a pink like circle next to it, and then like a squiggly line or something. You know what I'm talking about? It was like, you know, it's the dude that made that design.
Right.
I think also came up with the names for all these things.
Or
like,
remember the Ford Ranger
Mega Tsunami,
the Ford Ranger Splash
Oh yeah.
edition.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I
Same
had a buddy with one of
graphics.
those.
This is the guy who did the same graphics.
I'm sure if you had a Ford Splash with a jet ski in the back,
Ooh.
Oh, dude, the amount of tail you would pull is phenomenal. Jesus. Okay, wait, I just from my background here, I've got to throw this in. Okay, when I was in college, I lived in San Diego, and I thought stand-up jet skis were the coolest fucking thing in the universe. And my brother and I and some buddies pulled in and bought two 650 SX
nice.
Kawasaki's, like 1986 or something. I don't remember. We also had to buy 3 more of them just to keep 2 running every weekend.
those ones were
They
pretty
a nightmare.
reliable though.
Not in saltwater.
Oh, yeah, no,
Time.
no.
They were horrendous. Oh my god, they were so bad. But they were also ancient and pieces of shit. But we thought we were so badass, man. We would take those things to Mission Bay and like blast Van Halen, unload those things, and start ripping around and think we were pulling. Nobody cared about us. We were total losers, but it was. I mean, I got to tell you, I never felt so cool as when I was ripping around on a 650 SX. So
Dude, I mean,
I get it.
I that's my kind of crowd right there. I mean, that was the first ski I learned how to ride on. Was the 650.
Oh, those so much.
They're
fun.
great skis.
Yeah, what's your background? How'd you get into this? I want to hear all of this.
So I'm originally from the high desert. I grew up in Quartzville, California, next to Lancaster, Palmdale. So basically, I grew up in the desert. I was a desert rat kid. I grew up riding motocross. Started snowboarding right before high school. We had a river house growing up. We'd go to Havasu all the time. I mean, when I was 2 weeks old, my dad took me out on a boat. So I've been just a water baby, I guess. So, go to the lakes on the weekends, go to Havasu, do all that. And I grew up, like I said, riding motocross, not racing. I raced a few times, but I just kind of didn't really care that much. I was more about riding out in the hills and riding in the desert and hitting jumps and doing stuff like that. And so I rode that 650. It was a friend of ours when I was way too young to be riding one. I was probably 11. And same thing as you, like I'd see him. I remember seeing the X2s. If you've seen those, they got fixed handlebars, and I was just
the
like
little kind of half seat on it or whatever.
Yeah, with
those
the
are
low
super
seat.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that looks like a dirt bike. Like those are so cool.
Yeah.
Like, ride the dirt bike in the dirt. You can go ride a dirt bike in the water.
Yeah.
And I think we were about in high school. Yeah, I was a junior. I had a boat. I had a little jet boat, and a friend of mine had a wakeboard boat, and we were on 4-4. So because we had jobs, so we had there's like, I don't know, whatever you call it. Like there's a system in school where if you had a job, you could leave school early to go to work. Well, on Wednesdays,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, on Wednesdays we actually had a half day, so we had a half of a half day. So our buddies, we would show up to school with our boats, and just go to Lake Pyramid and go ride around. About that time, I got a Yamaha FX1, which it came right after a square nose Superjet. It was kind of, they were trying to figure out a new ski. So I ended up going to one of my good friends, Ryan Pulliam. His parents own a shop called Rider's Choice, and they would, they've got street bikes for sale. They've got dirt bikes. They've got some watercraft. They're a huge shop out there locally. And they had this FX1, and I'm like, dude, I want to ride a jet ski. Like you're saying, I want to just ride my dirt bike on the water. So I ended up trading my XR50. That was, 50s were the rage at about that time. Everybody had BBR, everything. Yep. They're all beat to hell.
What year was this?
This had to be like,
when are we talking?
I graduated in 06, so this has to be 04, 05. And so I traded my 50 for this FX1, and we'd go to Pyramid. And basically, I would ride behind them while they're wakeboarding and just wait for them to crash. Because when they'd turn around, when the wakes would come together, it'd just be a huge ramp, and I would just send it off of these wakes.
What, are you talking Pyramid Lake off the 5?
Yeah. Yep,
what you're
exactly.
talking about? The big, yeah, okay.
So-
rad. Oh yeah, I've taken
Yeah,
a boat
it's a
there.
cool
Nice.
little lake. So
That's awesome.
it's close enough. And so we started doing that. And then, you know, like I said, coming from moto, you're kind of looking at the ski and you're like, okay, well, what do you do to these things? Like where's a graphic kit? Like where's the hot mod parts, which I actually didn't realize it had some really good parts, and I sold it for super cheap, which was really stupid. But at the time it was like you had to have a round nose Superjet. That's what all the like custom reinforced hoods, all.
I remember that being
Oh, they
hot
were
shit.
super hot.
Yeah.
And it was like my ski, there was really like nothing as far as strength for the boat. And I didn't really understand that. Probably about a year later, I was going to be doing full fiberglass reinforcing in my skis anyways. So I probably would have been okay with what I had. But yeah, so I started checking that stuff out. And I remember when I was online, I'm trying to figure this stuff out. And I found a website called Blowsion. And dude, they had videos of guys just sending it in the surf. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's
like,
what you do.
We're already out in the desert, like hitting jumps, fifth gear pin, like sending it. And I'm like,
right.
So you're telling me you can go in the ocean, you can sky these things, and you can fly off of it and not be completely wrecked. You know what I mean? Which I came to find out later, that's kind of a half truth. Yeah,
not true.
Once you get really high in the air, it's not really water anymore.
Yeah.
Let alone if you crash land back onto the craft. Those don't really move.
No more knees left.
Yeah. Starts to take a bit of a toll as well. It's not a lot of suspension.
Wait, how high can you jump these things?
Oh my
dude,
goodness.
you can go as big as your balls will allow. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But what are we talking? Like 30 feet off the face of a wave?
Generally, yeah.
I've seen pictures, but
I mean, it really depends on the wave. If you're hitting a 2-foot wave, you know, you're only going to go so high. We've hit 10 to 15 foot waves. So you got to imagine you're already from the bottom, you're 15 feet up. So 30 foot is, they're basically on accident.
For all the listeners out there,
God.
if you want to see the definition of cool, just Google Zack Bright jet ski and click on images and look at Zack upside down. Dude, you've got to be, I don't know, 10, 15 feet in the air, looks like, upside down, whipping a sweet back.
Oh, yeah, that one.
If anybody wants to know what this looks like while they're listening.
Yeah.
So, Zach, I didn't want to cut you off as far as like getting to the point of where you.
Well, I mean, that was pretty much it. Like, I just went online and I saw these dudes doing it, and I was like, okay, let's go. And I ended up going out to the ocean and rode one time, and that was it, dude. I was hooked.
Well, when did you?
So where'd you go to?
I ended up going to Ventura. Just riding out of the harbor.
Were you sponsored and?
Not at that
all
point,
that
no.
good stuff.
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, what is the path like from shredding like that to pro, and how does that work to be a pro jet ski rider? Like, is there a like tour or something or competitions? Like, I have no idea how any of this works. What is the path there? So how'd you continue on?
There was
from that point.
Well, Brady, you want to jump back or? Sorry.
Oh yeah, what were you saying, Brady? Sorry.
Oh, so I guess what my question was
forget Brady. Keep going, Zach.
Well, finally someone can shut me up on here. My question was is to the people who don't know, because I didn't know prior to meeting you what even like free riding is for jet skis. I know you did talk about it a little bit, but what would be your quick definition, or long? It doesn't matter. Definition of jet ski
free riding.
Jet ski free riding. Because I had no idea. I was only fortunate enough to meeting you that I was able to see this and realize, what the fuck?
Right.
You guys do this in the ocean on jet skis?
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially, to me, when I explained it to people, it's like part freestyle motocross, it's part surfing, and to me, it's part snowboarding. Basically, on a judging platform, you're judged 50% surf riding and 50% jumps. So
Okay.
that really, there's some guys that excel at surf riding. There's some guys that excel at jumps, but you can't just be the best surf rider or the best jumper and win something.
Mm-hmm.
So really, to me, free ride is just going out to the waves, just sending it with your buddies, trying to progress every single session, and really just having a good time and trying to partially keep everybody's skis running.
Yeah. I can imagine the
Yeah,
things
dude, they get
wrapped.
sunk. They just get beat. They get beat so hard. I didn't really know. I mean, I've always been a mechanically inclined person. I was the kid, the lawnmower take apart or put back together kid growing up. But I had absolutely no idea that progressing on a stand-up jet ski was also going to mean that I was going to have to be a full-blown mechanic on these skis.
Oh yeah.
Unless
imagine.
Well,
you want to just pay somebody. But I mean, dude, the bill is going to be racking out. You're going to be, there were days where it was literally every single session it's broken.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I can relate that similar to, say, off-road, like pre-running or like off-road vehicles,
Oh,
where
sure.
you're really, every time you go out to have fun, you're really pushing it to its limits and
100%.
to and past its breaking point.
I would say the only difference between that, though, is you're taking something that you've built to do that with. Really, when you think about it, a stand-up jet ski is not meant to go 30 feet in the air and land upside down, ever.
No,
Yeah.
that was never
No,
a
it was
thought, I'm
never
sure, in,
a design process.
in Kawasaki's mind.
No.
Well, now that that's a thing and popular, is there like custom models or
Oh, yeah.
something? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I assume somebody's making them now,
Yep,
right?
there's probably, I would say there's about 5 legitimate brands that make a complete hull package. So the hull is just the boat of the craft. I'd say, yeah, there's probably 5 that, and they're all fully developed and made to do exactly that. They're super strong. They've got rockers like the front of your surfboard. They've got ride plates that are essentially the entire tail that you could take off. You could adjust the length, positive and negatively, depending on the day. There's adjustable handle poles, so you can also adjust the length there, depending on the swell size or whatever you're more comfortable with. And
Did they reinforce the holes with like aluminum or something?
no,
What
it's
do you
all
do to strengthen
it's
it?
all fiberglass. It's all epoxy resin fiberglass. So the problem though, so say you take like a stock Yamaha, you have to reinforce that thing. It's going to add a lot of weight, which to me was never a problem. On the bigger days, you want that weight, but on the flip side, on a 2-foot day, that weight is going to hinder your
You're gonna
performance.
just push right through the
Right, you're just exploding through stuff. So there's always a bit of a. It's just like anything, right? You change the fork angle on your bike, it's going to go better, faster in a straight line. But now you can't turn the thing. It's just like anything, right?
Yeah, right.
But the new holes that are made specifically to do this, they're all about. They range from anywhere between, I'd say, 110 pounds dry. Just the craft to anywhere to 50, 60 pounds. These light ones are.
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't realize I've probably helped you move ones that were that light too, and I didn't even realize it. But.
yeah. Some of those carbon fiber ones.
That's crazy.
And that's the thing too with composites, right? You could have full fiberglass. You could have full carbon fiber. There's full Kevlar boats. I mean, each of them have, their strengths and their
Do
weaknesses
they
as
still
well.
make,
But
like, when you go out to these, we have a place called Northern Colorado Power Sports, and they have racks of wave runners and Sea-Doos and whatnot, but you never see stand-up jet skis anymore. Are they still made, or did it go by the way? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're still made. Kawasaki has a new SXR 1500 4-cylinder 4-stroke.
Good Lord. Evan, buy that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
it's insanely fast. I got the opportunity to ride one that just had a tune and a handle pull, and
Oh my God, that thing's massive.
dude, it's huge.
I gotta look at
My
it.
cheek.
The dude on it
called
looks
again?
this
Yeah.
big in the picture.
It's an SXR 1500.
Here, I'll
That's
post it in
wild.
our
I didn't
chat.
realize they were going that big in CC.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's a full blown 4-cylinder 4-stroke engine. I mean, that's a car,
Dude, that's a Goldwing motor in a jet ski.
which for us is not even
Sure.
close to what we're looking for.
Right. Were you guys still riding 2-strokes?
Yeah.
Is that still
Yes.
the thing?
Yes. 2-strokes are great because you could sink them, pull the spark plugs, blow the water
Show 'em out.
fire them back up, and be on your way. Where a 4-stroke, you sink a 4-stroke,
Yeah,
You're done.
you can get
You're
it going,
draining
but
every
you ain't going to get it
fluid,
going
you're-
on the beach. Like, it's over.
Right. Right. No way. Can the motors hang like with this kind of punishment? Is there mechanical problems, or is it really the hole that gets thrashed? So
It's more the whole. The engines really are pretty solid.
yeah.
But as far as,
Wow.
well, I mean, it depends, right? The 2-strokes, sure, but these new ones, like, so the Kawasaki 1500, there's no way anybody's going to go do anything with that in the surf. That is strictly a race performance boat.
Okay.
Yamaha just updated the Superjet. They put a, what is it? It's a,
I'm looking at their website now. That thing looks massive too.
it's not as big as the Kawasaki.
It's a 1000. It looks like. Where was it?
What is it?
I saw something about liter. Where the hell was it?
I know somebody. Oh, it's a TR1 engine. I know that came
Yeah.
out of a sit down as well. Or wait, maybe it's not a TR1. Maybe Mott's was just putting those in.
No, it's their website says that. It says class leading Yamaha TR1
yeah,
engine.
TR1. Okay.
So are all manufacturers now, are they moving to the 4-stroke variety?
The
as far as
4-stroke
engine
revolution.
packages?
Yes. The 4-stroke revolution has taken over for sure. Because the problem too is you got to remember there's a lot of lakes that ban jet skis on basis of a 2-stroke engine.
Exactly.
Oh,
So that
true.
really kind of started killing the sport because, you're just closing down areas to ride. So their answer is a more eco-friendly, they don't got oil sliding out of the exhaust into the habitats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but you also don't have rad stand-up jet skis blasting around. I mean, they need to think about
right?
it.
Right?
Damn. Yeah, that's a bummer.
So it's kind of on basically a production aspect. Yes, they still make them. But if you are trying to free ride, that's not what you're going to buy.
Yeah.
You're going to buy a used Superjet, or you're going to go crazy and buy a full custom built ski by a manufacturer that makes them.
Purpose built. Yeah.
The Superjet was an 800, wasn't it?
It was a 701. And they had
Okay.
that motor. That's what's cool about Yamaha. The first one they dropped that in was the square nose Superjet. They also,
Like what year is that?
I'm talking, we've got from 1995 until 2012 they produced this engine package.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Oh, yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of, the 701. Okay, that's the one I remember looking
so
at.
we were all
I wanted one of those so bad.
we were all freaking out when they killed the 2-stroke, but I'm sure you guys know I think there's a law, right? It's like 15 years you have to create parts for whatever you sold, right? Isn't that right?
I
I don't know that anybody actually enforces that if
Yeah.
it does exist.
Well,
or
'Cause
maybe
there's-
they, to get around it, they sell the license or sell the molds to another company that they probably own,
Right.
And then just tank
Subsidiary.
it.
we build a lot of parts for stuff that's not 15 years old and the manufacturer
They just cut
discontinued stuff for. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't. That law totally might exist. I just don't know that anybody follows.
well,
it.
regardless, I mean, they created that engine package for so long, and it's not like there's a shortage of parts. I mean, you could
Yeah.
still get 550 piston port parts on eBay. They're all over the place.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of worry when they
When was
dropped
the
that
first-
2-stroke.
The first stand-up jet skis, this is like early 80s, right? 83?
No, this
Yeah,
is
early
early
80s,
70s.
right?
70s. Okay.
Really?
Early 70s.
I've only been on a stand-up jet ski once, and I was in Hawaii as a kid. And so I think it
Oh,
was like
you scored.
early 80s, dude. It's a great story because we went out on this boat, and then you go to like a platform where everybody hangs out, and I'm sure I was a kid, but there's people drinking and hanging out, and you could
God,
go.
can you imagine the hot 80s chicks on the beach back then? God damn it.
So then you could
Like
go take
that
off on
shit.
these jet skis for like 10 minutes at a time. And so we did it. My
Yeah.
brothers and I did it. And, and you have to start off like on your elbows and you drag your feet and then you kind of get going and then stand up because the inertia was helpful. So we did it and we're ripping around. And then the rest of the afternoon, we watched these like big fat American people just like flying through the ocean with their legs dragging behind. They never could stand up. We were just like, look at those people going by. Boo, 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 boo. Then they'd fall off and they'd start swimming back, and these poor guys have to dive off this thing and swim out and get the jet ski and bring it back. And
Right. Make sure it doesn't sink.
That's awesome.
yeah, I think they were like 400s though, or
440s.
Well, the Kawasaki
440.
made a 440 for
Yep.
a long time. Wasn't that the one with the red exhaust pipe
the
coming
front.
out of the
Coming
front
out
of the
there,
hole? Yeah. That's so
Yep,
cool.
they did that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They had that thing. Yeah, that's cool, dude. You rode in Hawaii. I mean, not a lot of people can say they did that.
Living the
It
dream.
must have been 12 or
Oh,
14
did
or
they?
something.
So what year are you saying they like a while back they put like a ban on two strokes as far as Hawaii, or is that just?
That's
Is it
mainly a
just
California
cooling?
thing.
And-
I
But no,
think,
that's
you
just
know?
cool. I mean, those are hard to find. I
Yeah.
have a buddy, Kaz, that was out in Hawaii and was riding around, but I recall it being pretty difficult to have spots for them to ride. I mean, dude, that's a surfer town.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Like they
Oh,
don't.
that's right. Yeah.
I mean,
so they'll definitely cater more towards surfing and
right. I mean, in yesteryears with Herbie Fletcher ripping around Jaws on his 550 or 440 or whatever it was, I mean, they were all stoked on it. But I mean, to be honest, probably the people that Max was riding with is probably burned the whole thing. They're probably like, nah, dude, like we don't want this around here.
That's awesome.
It was me. They're like, fuck that.
Max
fuck
shredded
that
so hard
pale
they
white,
shut it
that
down.
pale white a-hole from Alaska. Look at him out there.
Look at that guy, dude.
Shut this thing down. Shut it down. You got the Coast Guard
my
out there.
God. Dude, was it like Hard Ticket to Hawaii where you threw the razor blade frisbee at the guy?
I mean, basically, I was on the beach. This guy came up
Yeah.
with like a
God, best
saw
movie
blade.
you get off the
in
plane in
bikini
a
and-
down
So
feather dry suit.
Just ready to shred. That's awesome. Oh, wait. Oh, best movie
Hard
ever.
Ticket
Okay,
to
so how did you go from going? So you figured out you could do all this rad stuff. You went to the beach, started riding, and then what's the path from there? How do you turn this into a career?
So basically, I just was writing. There was, a forum called XH2O, back when forums worked. And I was able to link up with a couple of locals out in Ventura. They really took me in and kind of showed me how to fix my crap a lot. And, so was out there riding a lot, and then I think I went to Oceanside a couple of times, and Oceanside was really like, whoa. Like at the time, Ross Champion was the world champion, and just seeing somebody ride at that potential was just like, whoa, dude. Like I want to ride like that. Like this guy is on another level doing Superman backflips and just crushing. And so, basically back onto the forums, there's a lot of social events like free rides where people would go to Pismo. So I went to Pismo, and it's kind of like the word of mouth, old school way of going about things. You're at an event, everybody's there, they're down for the same thing. You just kind of hang out, meet people, link up with them, keep riding with these people. And then I got word that there's a contest. Well, there's a contest, but there's also like an entire world circuit to this whole thing. So the first year I competed was the first year the Blowsian Surf Slam had an amateur class, which was like, okay, well, I need to go to this thing. So I built a ski. I took me and my buddy Mark Gomez. We got in my dad's company Ranger and drove all the way to Pacific City, Oregon.
I do have to say really quick, Max, are you following just how close his story is to Crew Jones racing Hell Track?
Like I held 3 people in.
I mean, it's like the
Crew
same.
Jones, Harkin Banks, Pete Mitchell. I mean, and now Zack Bright. I'm so in awe.
And Doug
I'm
Masters,
so sorry.
dude. Okay, this is all. I just love Rad, and your story is like
That's
this
a whole-
is, like,
right?
paralleling
That's
the movie.
how-
I mean, you're about to get Hell Track, and I'm loving this. This is the coolest
Like
thing
how
I've
they
ever
make
heard.
these movies, right? It's the same old story, right?
You follow Zack Bright, and you make his life story.
So yeah, I went to that event, and I was the only amateur to do a backflip in that event. I got 4th place because my ski was riding on 1 cylinder. I did a flip with 1 cylinder. I was just like, I don't even care. I'm here to make a statement.
Damn.
I'm just going to rip this flip off
Yeah.
and try and like put my name out there. And got 4th. And then shoot, I mean, dude, I'm getting old. What else happened between those points?
Yeah.
I think I just kept going to those things, right? Like the free rides
Just kept showing up.
Yeah, it was just kind of just like, where's the next contest? Where's the next event? And then I guess I really should have sat down and kind of thought about what I did before I did this. But anyways,
that's all right. It's still cool. Did you plan like this is the hot trick I'm going to do to get interest? You know, did you have that kind of like figured out ahead of time,
at that
or was it
point
just...
I was just like, dude, I got to do a flip to win. That was my thought process. The guy I rode with the guys that were in the competition, like they're good buddies of mine, and I knew what they could do, and I was just like, dude, whoever does a flip is going to really have a chance at winning this thing.
Was that a new trick at that time?
No,
Not many people
no
doing
way.
flips?
It was just kind of like, hey, we're the amateur class. We're coming in hard. We're out here doing flips too. Like we're trying to.
God, you seriously are Crew Jones right now. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't
seriously.
even make this up. Who's the first guy to throw a flip at?
No, and he's
track?
going to beat
That's right.
Team Hurricane or whatever.
So awesome.
So I
Yeah,
did that. I did. Yeah, dude.
He's got to reload, man. This story's
I
so
gotta
rad.
keep
He's
it
got
going.
I'm
to.
almost out. I gotta go and refill.
Oh, I got prepared.
I got to grab a beer too. I
I got the 12 box
You're
right
making me
next to me,
thirsty.
baby. We're good to go.
Hey, I got a little packet of Kool-Aid too for backup.
You got a little you got a little umbrella in there.
No, the little one.
Little
uses
umbrella.
those.
Well, you got one left over from that Hawaii trip, Max? All right, this
There you go.
Montucky
There you
cold
go.
snack will get me through it. Keep her going.
Let's see. I don't know. We'll just fast forward because there is. I mean, stuff happened around that time, but I know. Fast forward, I think it was 2009. Australia was a world tour stop, and that was my first pro contest, and I realistically probably wasn't quite ready for that. But with stuff like this, it's just like with moto or anything like that. It's all about your mindset and your confidence, and just being like, you know what, I'm just gonna go out there and just fucking send it. Like, forget it. So went to this
Just the
contest.
underdog mentality.
Yeah, exactly. Like I went out there and I came with Superflip bars on my ski. Had never even tried one. I'm like,
Okay,
Pierre
explain super flips, because
Superman
Yeah, what does that
backflips
mean?
is when you do a backflip and you kick your legs out of the tray into like a Superman, like you're flying through the air. So your feet are not attached to the
coolest
ski.
freaking
Right.
thing.
It's gnarly, and
Yeah, that's
it
nuts.
really is. Like, it makes no sense when you try and like think about it. It's more just like inertia and energy, and a lot of it is we have these special bars. I actually have some over there, but they attach to your handlebars and they flip up and go across your forearm and brace you. So when the ski goes away, these bars
What?
keep you
Yeah.
in the parallel position. We also we have limiting ropes, so the handle pull, like, on a regular ski you just lift the handle pull all the way up.
Right.
We have ropes that
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
let the pole go to about yay high. They don't need to go right,
So you
because
can't
if you max it out, you
all the way and,
hyperextend it and you break
the
it.
hinge or something.
Not only that, if you're getting
Yeah.
ragdolled
Yeah.
in a wave, the tray is kind of just right there, so you can kind of get yourself back into that
Yeah.
position instead of just
It's another
being
leverage
gone.
point, essentially. too.
Exactly.
Wait, but these bars sound like wrist
Oh, man.
breakers.
Oh,
don't
a
they?
lot of
Like,
guys
isn't that a
did.
great
Oh,
way
yeah.
to snap your?
They
Yeah,
have like
Yeah, it sounds
quarter-inch
gnarly.
pads on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you're good.
Yeah.
Safety first,
you
right, guys?
still had a blue line across your forearm after you did them. Honestly, the biggest
Yeah.
thing is your shoulders. They just wreck your shoulders.
Oh, yeah. Because you're probably
Yeah.
hyperextending them to a certain degree.
Exactly. And then you have
Yeah.
all that weight,
Right.
and now it's pressing your arms. It's whipping you
Yeah.
back to
Oh
the
my
ski.
God.
Exactly.
So basically,
Yeah.
you limit the handle pull to
Jeez.
damn near on the hood. You don't need it to go anywhere, and you just launch your feet out of this thing. I had never even done one, but I was just like, I'm just gonna go.
Go for it. Good a time as any.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, the first
Awesome.
guys got them. I'm gonna put them on, and I'm gonna freaking go for this shit. And it was
my God.
it didn't work at all. I sunk the ski instantly.
Oh, no.
I realized that
Oh, shit.
Australian waves are an entire different animal than West Coast waves. I mean, the amount of
yeah.
energy
Sure.
that these freaking waves had. I mean, I damn near drowned, dude, and I was just like, whatever,
Whoa.
like we'll be okay. I think I got last. I don't even remember. I know I did terrible.
So you say you sank the ski. So like you do the flip, you bury it in the water, you come up, and the ski just goes to the bottom.
So I didn't even have the flip bars out. I wasn't even like to that point of my day.
Oh
No, I just went to do a
Oh.
normal flip, and I hit it late, and the wave came over, like my ski
So it, like,
punctured
crested,
through.
like,
Yes, and I
crested
just
over
got
you.
smashed
Oh,
and
crap.
lost the ski.
Okay.
And so I'm out there like swimming, and the ski's pretty close, and then I just got absolutely destroyed by another wave and another wave.
God.
And
Oh my God.
I thought I was going to lose the ski for a minute. It was pretty stupid.
Was it still running at that point?
Oh no, the thing's
Oh,
full
no,
of
it's
water.
swamped. Okay.
It's done.
Do you have at this point? Do you have sponsors or like somebody paying this, or you all you
That's
doing
what I
this
was going to
yourselves?
ask.
That first one was like a family effort. I just pulled some money together. My dad has always been super supportive of what I wanted to do. At that time, basically,
Shout out to Jack Bright. He's
Yeah,
Jack
probably
Bright.
one of the coolest guys in the world.
yeah, he's the man. So he helped me get there, and it was kind of just like,
Well, if he raised this absolute legend, I'm pretty sure your dad's
Yeah,
pretty
he's-
badass.
he's the man. So we basically were just like, hey, like I need to just get out here and things are going to start happening. And they didn't at that point. But
So was this on your Bumblebee Superjet?
no, this was a borrowed ski. And dude, this
Oh.
thing was, I worked on the ski with two of my friends out there that
Are you allowed to rent one and continue to compete?
Well,
or is that just
we ended
you
up
can
doing
only
stuff like
compete
that
when
in the
you're-
future. At this point, it was just like, I just need to get there. Does anybody have a ski I could rent? This
Oh,
guy's
no
like,
way.
yeah, I have a shop. You can rent this ski.
From Cal,
Yeah. And I'm like, cool. And then I get there and he's like, oh, the stator is out. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, we just need to change it. And this dude literally grabs scissors and just cuts the stator wires.
Ha, nice.
And he's like, yeah, we'll just put another one on and we'll just put butt connectors. And if you guys know anything about connections and salt and like,
It's salt
Yeah.
water.
it was
Yeah.
pretty much done from that moment because it took us probably 5 days to get this thing to run correctly. I mean, I'm talking every day we're testing in the river and it's like intermittently running and like shocking
Why did he
you.
cut the wires? I don't get that part.
He is a shop owner mechanic.
Don't they have?
quote unquote.
I mean, they have they have plugs on the end of them,
Right. You got it unplugs inside the e-box. I don't know.
Yeah,
This guy
yeah.
was like,
I've
here, let me
installed
help
those
you.
before.
Like, let me help you out. Click.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's pretty Australian way of doing things, I guess. Is that how you guys do things down here? Like,
Dude, we don't do that on
Yeah, right in the
motorcycles,
bush.
let alone something that goes underwater.
right. So we,
Wow.
yeah, we spent a lot of time trying to get that thing to run right. And then, yeah, it was a bummer. It was actually kind of all for nothing at that point. But,
No way.
So Zach is so we didn't really talk too much about him, but you brought him up. Is Mark also here at the same time, or is that later
Mark
when
was,
he jumped into the pro circuit?
yeah, Mark was at the amateur contest with me. I mean, Mark and I, dude, we go way back. Like, I taught Mark how to do a backflip. He taught me how to do a barrel roll. We helped each other through the whole road. Like, he worked at a AC handle poles, got me a handle pole for nothing when I snapped mine. Like, we were just always, you know, helping each other to progress. So he kind of had a later start into the tour.
Gotcha.
So I kind of was just all in and was just going for it.
Mhm.
Mark was kind of hanging back and kind of dialing in his craft, I would say. Just Mark's the kind of guy that if he's going to do something, he wants to do it well, where I'm the same, but I was just like, let's go. Like, I'm a little bit older than Mark. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's go time. Like, I'm ready to
not
send
wasting
it.
time with it. Right.
So,
Well,
I
when
mean,
did you start making progress then with like competing and all?
2009, I went to France, and that was my first podium in the pro class. And I podiumed with Pierre Maxent, Ross Champion, and Mark Zickerling, who, if you Google those dudes' names, they are like three of the gnarliest dudes.
I was just gonna say, like, I only know those names because of you, but from what I know, they're the
absolute
the
gnarliest
legends.
dudes. And for me, I came into France. I got help from Ross's sponsor at the time was a company called Lightweight. They're out of Germany. Norbert, who builds these skis, he was the factory Porsche's race car builder.
Oh wow.
And so, dude, I still have the ski. It's the only one that I've kept because it's literally like a Porsche. I mean, the thing is immaculate. I mean, Brady's seen it. It's bar none.
Is that the super light?
The Lightweight, the Ross ski.
Lightweight. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just,
Dude, that thing is trippy.
It's unreal.
Like, knowing nothing about jet skis, you look at that and think, okay, there's
What's it called?
there's
Like,
something
where can I find a
different
picture
about
of this?
if you type in lightweight.de,
Okay.
it's in Germany. It might pop something up.
Something in carbon. Looks like carbon fiber parts.
Yeah. It might have a link for jet skis. He was really like,
Oh yeah, here we go.
he
Jet
kind of
ski
came
gallery.
in and was like, hey, I have some crazy ideas and I'm going to use my master
Oh, wow.
of like building composite work and just build a really nice ski. And I'm going to make you pay for it if you want it. And if you don't want to buy it, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Where a lot of people were like, oh, we got to make it $6,000 and we're going to blow fucking fiberglass into a mold and just pop these things out. And Norbert's just like, I could care less. Like, if you want to buy my ski, it's going to cost you, but it's never going to break. And it's going to have,
You still have this one?
I still have that one. Yeah.
Is it this one in the picture? This orange one?
It's not that exact one, the colors,
okay.
but it is that exact model. Yes.
That thing's nuts. So are these like footholds or something? Look like to hook
I
your
forgot about those.
hook your
That's
foot
right.
into or something?
Yeah. It's got adjustable footholds. They go up and to the back. So you have full range of adjustment. The actual tray comes off of the craft. Like, where
wow.
your feet are, that entire thing comes off. The bottom, usually they just had a ride plate that went under the jet. He made it span the entire width of the
I
craft.
see that. Yep.
So that was adjustable.
And it looks like it's got like arches to it or something, right?
So
It's
you
got
could
some
change
sorta-
your length, which that ended up being adapted. Now every new ski has that, but that was Norbert's idea.
Wow.
You could undo and change in front of the pump cavity the way the water would flow. You could adjust that. So really, for me, it was set up to where, you know, normally when you're going to borrow a ski, you can bring your handlebars and like a foot strap and that's it. You could bring a couple of, I mean, really like that's about it, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you have a super jet that is like 11114 and then 11115. They do not ride the same at all. Like they all
Really?
have their own little
From the whole differences or something?
yes, from the way that
Oh,
they're
wow. No way.
manufactured. Just there's a tweak here, a tweak there. They just all don't
Okay.
really ever feel the same.
So
Norbert's
this is a super jet motor in this thing?
yes.
Okay.
And Norbert's, what was cool was instead of me just showing up with two parts, I could bring my tray, I could bring my tailplate, I could bring my intake, and I could bring my handlebars and build his ski to where it is literally exactly the same handling as my ski back at home.
Got it.
So
Wow.
after that contest, I ended up buying that ski because, I mean, I got third place on it, and I'm like, yeah, this is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
What does a super rad ski like that cost? I have no concept. Is this like a $10,000
that
thing?
that one was like, I think that one, I mean, he cut us a deal, but I would say back in those days, that was a $10,000 ski
Okay.
just for the hole. Nowadays, a price range is generally around $6,500 is going to get you a aftermarket hole from a manufacturer. But obviously you start doing carbon fiber and stuff like that. Like
Sure,
I've seen
it
them.
goes way
Yeah,
up.
I've seen
you
them
can
up to
double
15
that, I'm
grand.
certain.
Yeah. Dude, that's insane. Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of this thing. That is so rad. I
Yeah,
can't
that
believe
thing-
how nice
That
that
thing is super sick.
That's
So,
awesome. Oh, here's one with the tray room. Okay, he's got part of the tray removed now. I think I get what you mean. No shit.
How old were you when you had your first podium?
22, I think.
Okay.
2009.
So it's-
I graduated in 06. So maybe 20,
Yeah, somewhere
around there.
Okay.
But
That's rad.
like okay, so there was a couple contests before that. I had another ski that I wrapped and it was super cool, and I got, I think, 4th in the contest before that. Like there was other things that happened, but that moment right there where I got 3rd with those 3 guys was like,
That's epic.
that was it. It was on
Yeah,
after
you're on.
that.
So
You're in it
cool.
now.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're like, oh, hey, go sit over here and sign autographs. And I was like, okay. Like,
All right.
I
Yeah,
literally,
and at that time too, you probably had never even signed like a checkbook or anything, or signed like.
well, and 2, here I am. I'm signing autographs. They're done. I got up and I got Ross and Pierre's and Mark's autographs. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
like I
That's so
can't
cool.
even believe
Yeah.
I'm here with you guys right now.
That is so cool. It's kind of a passing of the torch kind of almost moment, or at least I would have felt that way.
Yeah.
Not even passing the torch, but like being almost like honored to be with like your like heroes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Pierre he had just done a double backflip like maybe a year and a half before
Jeez.
that. Like Ross was the world
Are
champion.
these guys like 10 years older than you at this point? Or?
Ross is probably he's probably 8. Pierre's probably maybe 6 or 8. But Mark Zickerling, if you look up that dude, he was battling Rick Roy in Flatwater. He was the Flatwater world champion. I mean, that dude's been around since the 90s. I mean, he's an absolute legend.
Wow.
Does some of the best Flatwater freestyle runs I've ever seen in my life. Like, comes in submarines, he's underwater, like that's all anybody cares about, right? Can you do a submarine?
Yeah.
It's like, yes,
Exactly.
do a submarine.
Oh my God. This dude is literally 20 feet in the air off the ski, hanging onto it with one hand on the nose.
Oh yeah,
This is the most. Holy shit, it's the coolest thing I've
but
ever
he would
seen.
do this one thing where he would be riding and he'd drop his leg, bury the thing underwater, and he's gone. And then he comes up on the hood and it goes riding off backwards. And then like, it's just like, that is some serious skill. Like, and then he transitioned into riding in the surf and he was doing double barrel rolls. I mean, this dude, I remember watching Full Gas videos of them years prior to me going there and just being like, dude, these dudes are out of their minds. So to get on that podium with those guys, I mean, I ended up
so
beating
cool.
Mark, and I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like how am I getting
These
to this point?
these pictures are insane. This is the coolest shit I've ever seen. This is nuts.
So
God, dude, I just want to be you. Like, I'm not kidding. This is like the raddest story I've ever heard.
We had some good times, dude.
Pretty much when Maverick takes out Viper,
Yes. Oh, God,
basically
so
the same
badass.
thing,
This is one of the coolest stories I've ever heard. Are you like making a living doing this at this point? Like, is this something
A gypsy living.
can make enough money?
A gypsy living.
Okay. Did you ever do this like as a career, like full-time income kind of thing? Or was it always you had to have another job to pay?
No,
the bills?
I was doing this full time for a couple of years. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a place in Oceanside. And yeah, I was just chilling and riding like every day. And just,
So rad.
just going for it.
Did you say, Brady, that maybe I'm mixing this up? Did you say Zach had one of those shops next to you guys where you and Jared had the shop?
Yeah, that's where I was confused whether or not you had met him.
Well, I couldn't remember.
before.
Did I meet you, Zach, at that? I had a shop in what am I thinking of? Carlsbad, over by the
Carlsbad.
airport. And I was over at their place quite a bit, so I was wondering if Brady thought maybe I met you.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That's what I was
It's
telling
been a long
Brady. I'm
time
like,
now, I
dude,
don't
we
know.
had to cross paths. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, we were next door
'Cause I knew you
neighbors.
both at the same time. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally had the shop right next to
Okay.
Jared and I.
Well, you look familiar. I'm pretty sure we met at some point then in those days. But
He had his beard was longer and
Yeah, I had long hair.
there was hair on his head. too.
yeah, well, I was thinner, so I mean,
Just getting older, bro. We're
so,
just getting older.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're throwing backflips, you're throwing barrel rolls. Tell us about some of your the injuries that you sustained.
Oh yeah, let's hear about that.
Dude, I
Oh,
actually,
jeez.
compared to a lot of other guys, I fared pretty well, I would say.
That's good.
I mean, I witnessed some horrific shit at some contests.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, like what?
Yeah, like what's the worst injury you see doing this
Oh,
kind of
dude. I mean, there was a kid in Japan. His name was Ryan. And you know when you see somebody and you're like, dude, I remember being you, but like you need to fucking chill. Like like literally the same thing was like, I don't know how to do a super flip,
That's awesome.
but I'm fucking here and I'm gonna do it. And I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
like, look, dude, I did that. That
That's
ain't gonna
awesome.
do you anything anymore. Like, it's just
Yeah.
another trick now. Like,
Look, man, I
Yeah.
barely survived doing that. Don't
yeah, I'm
do
like, dude,
what
you
I
don't need to do it. Like, his mom and his
Yeah.
dad were there, and I remember talking to his mom in the hallway at the hotel, and I'm like, dude, you got to talk to Rhino and like tell him like
Wait, what's a super
What's a
flip?
super flip?
the
'Cause it
Superman
sounds
backflip.
Rad.
Oh god.
Oh,
The same one I was like, oh, I'm just here and I'm gonna freaking do it. At that time, if you
Yeah.
did do it at that time, you probably would have gotten somewhere. At this stage, it's 2017. It's like, bro, it's done. Like nobody, and he's trying to do a heel clicker backflip where so you got your feet over the handlebars and you click your heels.
Oh my!
And I'm just like, dude, I mean,
You're just straight up along.
oh,
for the ride
it's
at that
gnarly,
point.
dude. Like that's one I'm like, yeah, I'm out on that. And this dude Ryan was just like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna fucking go for it. And I'm like, I don't think you should do it. And homie ended up breaking his leg out in the surf. Like I'm talking, broke his femur.
Oh,
And now it's
no.
like that's
Oh,
that's
brutal.
one thing that like I try to explain to people. Like, yeah, it's water. That's fine. If you want to like take
Yeah.
away the risk, I mean, I get it. Like compared to freestyle motocross, like yeah, those dudes get wrecked, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The way I explain it to people is like, you're kind of in an avalanche aspect. Like, if you do something and you get hurt, it doesn't stop. Like, at least if you're on a
Yeah.
dirt bike and you crash in the dirt, yeah, dude, that was gnarly. You probably
could
broke
slide.
both of your legs.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's
Right.
over now. Like, you're laying in the
Right.
dirt. Somebody call a helicopter.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not taking anything away from those guys at all. But the fact of the matter
Yeah.
is that if you seriously
There's not dirt continuously piling
it's
over you.
like you get wrecked out in the surf. Mother
Yeah.
Nature don't care, bro. Like that wave's coming and it's gonna hit you again.
Yeah.
And it's gonna hit you again. And there's no like, okay, shut the waves off.
Yeah.
So
So
It's not going to wait for
No,
you to catch
no,
your breath.
it's over.
It's
People must drown doing this, right? Like if you get wrecked like that and you're just getting piled
Well,
on.
I'm sure they have.
Oh, for sure. Random people.
Oh, that's true. In a competition.
Competition.
Right?
I don't know of anybody that's gotten drowned, but I do know people who have almost drowned. You know, dudes have gotten knocked out and they're out there sleeping. You got to think too, right? The point of a life jacket, and we're wearing, type 3 life jackets. Those things don't even roll you over anyways. So now you put a waterlogged dirt bike helmet on your head, and that thing, you're just slumped.
Right.
Like, and then you get picked up by a wave, slammed.
Damn.
Like, it could be bad news. So that was a pretty gnarly one. Another gnarly one was my buddy Jason Stiles. This dude, again, trying to do a super flip variation. But this dude is doing a one-handed super flip, which to me, I'm like,
oh,
why?
No.
Like, what are you doing, dude? He'd landed them before, so I'll give him that. The dude's an absolute unit.
Yeah.
Like, he's an Australian.
Yeah.
They all kind of got a screw loose. So go for it. It's all you. We're at a huge event, and it's the best trick. And I'm like, dude, he's going to do it. Like, I know he's going to do it. And he does it, and his body weight went beyond the comeback part, and he flipped over the front, and he smashed his face into the handle pole bracket.
Oh.
Dude, this guy comes into the beach, and his entire cheek to his jaw is just filleted. Like, it's just wide open. Like,
Oh, no.
he ended up having to get nerve surgery, like microscopic surgery in his face. Half his face is like paralyzed. It doesn't even work correctly. But he said he didn't even care because he got in a street bike accident and he paralyzed the other side of his face. So now it kind of matches.
What? Holy shit.
No. Yeah. Now he looks like normal.
Oh, my God. You Jetski guys are nuts. Jetski.
He's a
Holy
mad
shit.
dog. Now he's like chilling. He's got his son. He's
Wow.
a great dude. But that was
So-
a gnarly one.
When'd you get out of this? I mean, did you eventually, or just like, I'm going to kill myself doing this?
Well, it was a kind of a compound of things. I blew my knees out. I did the one racing flat track. Kind of
Which we'd love to have you back on because we want to do a flat track.
Absolutely.
episode as well.
And I want to
We'd
hear
love
you
to have
talk about
back
that
on
too,
for it,
Brady. You
but-
did that for a while.
Oh, Brady ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I want to hear all about that. We talked about it a little bit, but I want to.
Well, it's kind of a similar thing. Like, hey, I'm just going to go into this completely overconfident and just send it. And that doesn't really work that well. It's kind of morbid when you think about it. I mean, it's kind of trippy to look back now, like being a father and just being like, dude, I literally didn't give a shit at all. I was going out and just like, hey, it was like Drago, like if he dies, he dies. Like I did not care. It's like a weirdo, like,
but that's probably what it takes to be really good at that.
It's like you're listening to metal.
Absolutely.
You're just
And
like, I don't care. Like I'm either gonna make a name for myself or I'll be the dude that drowns doing this. I don't care. Like, and it paid off. I didn't die. So.
God damn, that's still the coolest thing I've ever heard. Like, it's so badass.
It's kind of gnarly though.
Holy
There's
shit,
probably
that's
something wrong. If you were to tell a therapist that, they'd probably be like, okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna really put you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what? Do you think? But a therapist is not going to think you're. Talk to us. Talk to us, not them. Okay, we're going to tell you this.
Well,
is
it's like
rad.
the same
The
thing, right?
therapist
Like you got a
is
guy
gonna tell
that's
you
racing.
You were nuts.
Well,
for
you got a
doing
guy
it.
that's racing street bikes, right? Like, what are you going to do? It's like you're all in or you're all out.
Yeah.
And that's what I would tell people. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
if you want to try and do something out here and you want to do it, you cannot overthink it. You have to just freaking do it. If you come up to something at the last second,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do this. You're done, dude. You're wrecked.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, because there's every synapses firing in your brain that's going to tell you this is a bad
100%.
idea.
Yeah.
Everything is firing.
Yeah,
saying,
you
know what?
shouldn't do
Don't
this.
Don't do
But-
this.
Yeah.
But and it's common in professional athletes
Right.
that part of their brain, whether it's undeveloped or just doesn't or just never developed because it was never given the reason to. And it just doesn't turn on saying or just they're not allowing.
Well, you just have to
that
turn it
part
off.
to
Right.
actually
You just
come to
turn
the
it off.
forefront.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
get
That's
into
kind of what I
that.
was
You
getting
get into
to.
that.
Right.
Not to say your brain is underdeveloped.
I mean, I can't even fucking remember half the story at this point. I should have like watched some of my videos and like, oh yeah, that's the timeline. Like I've hit my head a lot. So,
It doesn't matter. The ones you did remember were awesome. So
Yeah, I'm sure
But-
both of us are not shy of concussions we
Right.
knew or did not know about.
yeah,
right. So, yeah, you basically you got to build a switch and just fucking turn it off.
right.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when did you stop? Like when was the end of that?
Yeah, so I hyperextended and blew my knee out at Santa Maria after the race at a practice at Flat Track.
Right.
Okay.
I remember that. That was the half mile.
Was Santa Maria a half mile?
Oh no, it's
No,
three.
no, hell no.
3/8.
Was that when you were racing Brady at the
3/8
same
mile.
time?
I was racing them, but I didn't get my shit together for that race.
Got it.
Did you blow it out in a crash or just on a bad corner? Or?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
After the
I
race.
swung it out. Yeah, after the race, I'm practicing. The pros were there. I was hanging with the pros. I passed a couple pros, and I was like, dude, okay, we're in. And they were telling me, they're like, dude, you're going to eat shit. Like, you're going fast, but, like, you clearly don't know really what you're doing. I'm just like, yeah, dude, you just come out of the corner and just twist it.
Yeah.
You're just drifting, dude. And they're like, yeah, nah, not really, dude. Like, you're going to eat shit. And I'm like,
Yeah, and this is
all right, cool.
this is
and then
fast and loose track.
Was this your inside leg?
yeah.
Like your I don't know what you
No,
call
it was
in
my
racing.
outside. So I went out. The rear end skipped out to the right and caught, and I
Oh.
dabbed my leg,
Jesus. Okay.
and that's all she wrote on that.
Wait,
so,
was this Jared's sport?
Yeah, it was Jared's Harley.
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not even certain that he had ridden it at that point because he had a broken arm.
No, he did not. And
Yeah.
I immediately sent him pictures of the bike. Like,
That's
hey, it's
right.
not that bad. Like,
Wait, was that
I
red?
scratched the tsunami.
Was that red sports?
No.
No, it was
that
the
he had?
yellow one.
Oh,
It was.
No, no,
it
no,
had
no.
the old Yamaha 360 tank.
360.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
saw a picture of that or something. He had some.
That was in 07. It was not 07. It was 04 or 05.
Okay.
Yeah, 04.
Rubber mount sporty. It was
Got it.
actually at that time. We had never seen any rubber mount sporty flat track racing.
What were people running?
kind
then?
of-
What were the bikes?
303 all day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Evo motors.
All Evo, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was kind of the infancy of it was like hooligan flat track motorcycle racing was just starting to like catch some kind of stupidity of people actually trying it
Got
at
it.
that point, which makes for a lot
Yeah.
of fun, really.
Yeah. I
Oh,
bet.
it was great. It was killer.
Mhm.
It was killer. I think that was right after the Rusty Butcher race. I got second. So I was like, dude, I'm
Mhm.
feeling good. Like I could do this. And then I went out and just fucking yeeted myself. And I was like, okay, that's,
not gonna
Yeah.
work.
I remember I had to call my sponsor at the time and I'm like, hey, so, I just blew my knee out. he's
And
like,
you were about to go to Japan
Oh no.
for a competition.
Yes.
I remember that. And I remember telling
Yes.
you,
Yes.
dude, fucking don't do this. You have a blown out knee. I'm sure your other one is short behind it.
You were gonna go race anyways?
No, this
no.
was a
This was
competition.
prior.
on
This
jet
was
ski.
after I blew my knee out. And Brady's like, dude, what are you doing? And I'm like, bro, I have to go to this. Like,
Jeez.
this is what I've been doing. Like,
Mhm.
and it's weird.
I'm glad
because
you did,
at that
honestly.
time. Yeah, for sure. It was a crazy. I mean, dude, if I didn't go, I don't know what I'd be doing right now because that was my last contest. That was the last time I did a backflip.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, that was really. So basically, I blew that knee out. I went. I had no insurance because why would you have that? I dealt with
Being a professional athlete.
Covered California. Yeah, I dealt with Covered California being a bunch of clowns. I could not get an MRI for 30 days.
Oh,
I ended up calling our good friend Kyle Lewis. He's a supercross legend. And I'm like, dude, what do I do? He's like, hey, go to this guy, go to Navarro, go to these guys. Like, you don't need insurance. I can get you a CT scan for $100. I'm like, killer, because these guys have been jacking me off for like 30 days. My knee's dislocated the entire time.
Oh,
They put my knee back in place, which was gnarly. I mean, that was like the gnarliest pain for like 30 seconds. And then you're like, oh, wow, that's like way
feels
better. Yeah. So
He popped the balloon.
walked out of there. Yeah, right. Walked out of there. I did rehab with him like 3 days a week for, I think it was like a month or two before the event. And the plan was, hey, like, get your knee brace, go to this event, finish out the year. And when we're done, we can get surgery on the knee. And I'm like, okay, cool. Sounds like a plan. So I go to Japan, I'm braced up, and I end up blowing my left ACL and dislocating my left knee and cracking the lower femur. I did the exact same thing I did on the other knee.
but on a ski this time.
Well, so that's what I told everybody.
What?
Because I was like, dude, if people know what happened, I
You were
might
drunk in a
be
strip club?
in, like, a lot of trouble. No, it was literally.
It's got even better.
No, yeah, dude, it was right before the final. All right, we're at this event in Japan, dude. It was like one of the coolest events ever. They're trying to incorporate flat track, and it's called the Moto Surf and Scramble. They got racing going on the beach. There's dudes. These Japanese guys have the sickest 125s ever. Like, so I'm out there ripping 125s. Dude, I'm out there ripping 125s, just like, oh, this is so sick. Like, no helmet on, like, no gear on. We're just on the beach, just screaming these things. And I'm the kind of guy where, like, I like to get, like, low-key like to get in people's heads. Like, I'll just, like, drop little things to, like, my competitors. Like, dude, oh, man, it looks... Like, it could be totally shitty. I'm like, dude, it looks really good out there, right? Like, I think it's going to be really good. And they're like, what? Like, so I'm like, I'm in for the final, and I'm against Pierre, who, again, is an absolute freaking legend. And this is, like, one of 3 times I've made it to the final with Pierre. So I'm like, dude, like, I'm actually riding really good. My knee's not bugging me. Like, I was telling him, like, dude, I'm going to kick your ass. Like, I'm coming for you, baby. And he's like, yeah, whatever, And I come up to him on this 125, and he's, like, sitting there, like, trying to zen out. And I rip up on this 125, and I'm, like, just revving the shit out of it. And I'm just like, so you ready, dude? Like, you ready? And he's like, yeah, dude, what's up? And I'm at the water line. I take off in a wheelie. The bike leans over to the left, and there's a beach cart right in front of me, and I'm like, oh, shit, like, I'm about to crash. So I put my foot down, and I put my foot into wet sand, and my toes just go right backwards. And I'm like, I felt it pop, and I was just like, no freaking way, dude. Because my ACL is already weak. Because since I was in crutches for a month, like, I'd been, like, jumping around on this one leg and, like, just, like, having a mentally hard time with this whole thing. Like, Brady could attest, there were days where I was, like, at my house, just, like, on the couch, just, like,
oh, yeah.
Dude, I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Exactly. Reevaluating life itself.
Right.
Dude, life was getting gnarly. My son was 6 months old, so, like, that whole mind F is just, like... Dude, like,
transition of like, do I need to be a full adult now? Like,
no, I need to rip dirt bikes around and intimidate.
Yeah, man, it was like this pull and push of, like, your old life and your new life, right?
Yeah.
So I snapped the ACL. I remember I put my left foot down to make a turn, and it just, like, collapsed, and I fell over, and I was just like, there's no freaking way. Like, there's no way this just happened right now. I get back on the bike. I remember I when you get on a bike, you do that, like, swing your leg over and pivot your ankle. And, like, my femur moved, and I was like, woo, okay. Like, fired the bike up, rode over to Mark, and I'm like, Mark, get my other freaking brace. I had this, like, cheese ball dirt bike brace. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, I just fucking blew my ACL out. Get my other brace. I got to get in the final. And he's like, dude, are you kidding me right now? I'm like, I'm not kidding you right now, bro. Like, get me the fucking brace. I went out. I'm in the final. I'm like, all right, like, it's going to be fine.
Just
it's gonna
duct
be fine.
tape you to this jet ski.
Dude, yeah. I just like, seriously, dude. I put the brace on. I duct tape my knee. I'm like, this is going to be fine. I go out. I'm like, all right, I'm feeling good. Like, I do a barrel roll. I land. And I'm trying to put all my weight on my brace leg. I'm like, all right, this feels okay. And I go out and I launch this flip. And I landed flat. And I think at the time I just snapped my ACL. But when I flat landed, I completely dislocated my knee and just shredded it.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
oh my God.
yo. And I competed the rest of the thing sitting because we were on the blaster type skis.
Okay.
Oh,
And I just
right,
sat
yeah.
on the moto seat, and I was just fist pumping Pierre as he's like flipping over my head, just like, yeah, dude, sick. Like, there's funny pictures of me just like, woo. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
I'm like, dude, this freaking sucks. I got second. It was cool. And then people are like, what happened? And I'm like, oh, dude, that flip. Did you see that? I freaking blew my knee out right there.
I was guessing when Brady said your knees blew out, it was from a flat landing. Because that was one of my questions. Like, I'm guessing you want to dive when you land.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You land flat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Your knee
God.
takes it all.
Well, so, I mean, I technically did trash it more. So, like, I was not really,
yeah,
like,
you're not lying.
fully
You're not
lying.
lying. Yeah.
Like, I snapped ACL. It still worked. But after that ride, it was completely dislocated and trashed. Like,
Oh my God.
How are
So-
they? How are they now? How are you all
Yeah,
fucked up?
no, I have no ACL still.
Okay.
I just kind of moved on.
Okay.
I flew back home from Japan. I had to frickin' lay on the floor with my knee above my head. It was the gnarliest because all that pressure in the cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was brutal. I remember I partially put it back into place in the hotel room, which was also freaking brutal. I mean, dude, you got to imagine where I'm at mentally at that point. I'm just like, dude, like something is telling me like this is like I need to do something else and like maybe pay attention to what is really important in life right now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's doing this anymore. Like I've had a crazy great career. I've put some stakes to my name and I've done some cool stuff, but like life's changing right now.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of a blessing in disguise because the tour, there was a huge fallout in Japan. There was a lot of deals made. There was a lot of promises made to me that just didn't actually happen. And then the tour kind of fell apart and then COVID happened. And that was kind of just like the hammer
Oh, yeah.
into the whole thing. Like this year, they're finally bringing it back. It's but that's the thing. It's a 2 tour stop. It's Portugal and Washington. You got to start somewhere to get it back going again.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm telling you, like it went from when I was doing it, like 5-6 stops of like actually going around the world. Like I went to Brazil, I went to Australia, I went to Spain, I went to France, I went all these places to make it a world tour. It's got to start somewhere to get back to where it was, but it actually it was just crazy how it just worked out, how it kind of all was kind of coming to a transitional period where maybe there needed to be a reset in this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I got injured and just kind of was like,
You got a head start. You got a head start on
Truly did,
essentially
like
rebuilding your career, your life, before you were forced to.
Yeah.
Yeah, a part of me is kind of like, damn, it wasn't my choice. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of something that kind of bums me out. It's not like I was like, hey, guys, like, I don't think it was not my choice. Like, but at the same time, it was a choice that was made for me. And I guess that was the correct choice. And I just
but
decided,
you likely could have kept going and hurt yourself worse had you not been forced into it, right?
Oh, 100%, 100%. But like, as the story goes, even if I would have kept going, the tour ended up stopping anyways.
Yeah.
So it was like, what are you even going to do?
Yeah.
Right.
How old are you now?
I'll be 34 next month.
Okay. And what do
Damn,
you do?
that's awesome.
What do you do for a living now?
Yeah. What are you doing now?
So now I'm a sales rep. I was my dad had a lath and plaster company when I was growing up, and I worked for him for a really long time. Started in the field, worked my way up through the crews, got into the office, started estimating, and then 2008 happened, and my dad's like, "Dude, what do you want to do?" Because I've already done this once in the early 90s, 80s. We went from like 300 guys to like 30 guys. And he was just like, what do you want to do? Because if you don't want to do this, I'm just going to pull the plug. And I was like, I don't know, man. This jet ski thing's kind of like taking off. And it was really cool because my dad, like, he can relate. Like, he was getting some Hondas locally from a local shop. He was racing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, basically I showed up and kind of put a kibosh to that. And, you know, he was just basically told me, he's like, dude, if you have the opportunity to follow a passion and follow a dream, I think you should probably try and run with that, because I'm 46 at the time. I could retire right now. I could buy any dirt bike I want. I can't ride it like I could when I was 20.
Yeah.
Like, and I've had the days where I've thought about like what would have happened if I just tried to do this thing. And if you think you can really get somewhere and do something, I think you should try and go for it. And I was like, cool, got my dad's blessing. I'm moving to frickin' San Diego. I'm out of here.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
Again, shout out to Jack freaking Bright.
yeah, but
Jack
the
Bright.
dude,
Yeah.
the dude set me up with taking estimating courses and having that construction knowledge to where after my jet ski career was, you know, came to a close. I ended up calling my cousin Josh. It was funny because Josh's apprentice started this company, Risen Wild, that was formerly Liquid Militia, and they had huge team weekend events at a private beach. It was badass. And Josh was there, was invited by Ryan. And I hadn't seen Josh in years. And like, dude's my cousin. So you're just like, dude, what up? Like, whoa. And he's like, hey, dude, if you ever want to get back in construction, just hit me up. And I remember laughing at him. I'm like, bro, do you see what I do? Like, I'm never fucking going back to that, dude. Like,
do you know who I am?
No, it's not even like that. But I'm just like, dude, you're at a private.
Look at this picture of me on the jet ski.
Like, legitimately, I was on the banners at the thing. I'm like, bro, I think we're doing all right. I'll let you know. And then fast forward, I'm at my shop next to Brady. My knee's dislocated. My other knee's dislocated. I'm working on skis because I had my own shop next to Brady. I was building jet skis. I was importing holes. I was importing life jackets. I was just doing it all myself. And I was just like, I'm trying to work on skis. My knee's dislocated. My kid is like, 6, 7, 8 months old. Right. I'm not there. And I remember just falling on the ground, and I was just like, dude, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, it sucked because like when I got hurt, I kind of went through a hard time. Like, I kind of, for whatever reason, maybe it was true, maybe it was my head, I just kind of felt like I was abandoned slightly. Like, it was like, hey, he's broken off. Like, I don't know, he's kind of having a hard time. Like, I don't know what he's doing. And I'm like, okay, cool, guys. Like, right on. Maybe I was right. Maybe I was wrong. At the end of the day, that's how I felt. And so I was just like, you know what, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. I hated coming into my shop. I hated looking at skis. And I was like, dude, this sucks. Like, this is not why I got into this. I got into this because this was the funnest thing ever to me. And I want to have fun doing this. And it's turned itself into a job. Like, how many pro skateboard videos have you seen where they're like, yeah, it was really fun when we were having fun, and then it just got serious. Yeah. And then it just sucked. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I'm fucking there right now. Like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, it got to a point prior to that where I was out practicing in Oceanside, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to run through my tricks. I'm going to surf ride. And then I don't even want to be out here right now. Like, this is just a job.
Yeah.
So it was
that's
like
the time to hang it up, because you could, make more money doing something else that's not going to kill you.
Well, dude, and not only that, it's just the stability. Like, with when you have the gypsy life, when it's you and your chick, like my wife, she's been with me for almost 15 years now. She's been through the whole thing with me, and I'm just like, when it's just the two of us and you're living like sponsorship paycheck or like event check to check and you can kind of figure it out, that's fine. When you have a kid, it's like, yo,
doesn't work anymore.
We need some like serious stability here. So I ended up falling. I like got screwed up on my crutches and fell on the ground. And I was just like, dude, I'm calling Josh. And I called Josh and I'm like, hey dude, like
still got a job.
Like, hey bro, like, were you serious like 3 years ago? Because I kind of think
now
I
am.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you were actually right. So you can get me back in. So I was a project manager for the company that he works at for almost 5 years, and then I just recently jumped in January to this new position, and it's just been awesome, dude. I've got like a free schedule. Man. I just have my truck, my laptop, and I'm a rep. So I just
that's great.
Keep everybody happy, drop off samples, and yeah, dude, it's I can't complain. It's just crazy, you know. It's like you think in life things don't go your way or you shouldn't be in the situation you're in, and it's like, dude, you rode jet skis, you know how waves work, bro. Just ride the wave, bro. Like, as stupid as that sounds, it's like, dude, you just gotta go with it. Like,
well, you gotta just adapt as your life.
You can't predict the sets that are going to be coming in. This next one could send you over the falls or take you out.
Shit, Brady, you ride?
What's that? Oh, I think
I was just asking if you rode too. I'm just saying, you know the waves, man. Like
I mean, come on. I grew up in Southern California. I have been in the water majority.
My joke
of
didn't
life.
land, dude. It didn't work. No, you're right. You guys are all right. And but you know what? In the end, it's just super cool because you come out of it with this insane experience, these super rad stories. You have a son, right?
Yeah, I have a son. I got a 5-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter. She'll be 3 in July.
Well, they're both are going to think you're the coolest guy in the world.
Well, dude, now it's coming around. It's starting to come.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah. Now Ozzy's like, he sees the posters and like I've showed him my YouTube channel before and like, but now he's 5, so he's like, oh, and now he's like, we'll be sitting there. And he's like, he's like, Dad,
hero.
Like, why don't you put on your jet ski videos? And I'm like, oh, all right, like.
No matter what I do.
Yeah, and we'll watch him.
That's awesome.
And then, like, so he's seen the ski in the garage, and he's just like, when are we going to go ride? I mean, I have pictures of him being an absolute baby in that ski. So now he's like, well, when are you going to go ride? And I'm like,
I'm not, but you are.
Well, but I'm like, dude, maybe it's time to get it going again. So.
Well, you can go have fun without destroying yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the goal. Like, I don't plan on going out and doing any fucking world first baloney. Like, I'm out to just surf some waves and maybe do a flip and a roll over here and there. And just.
But look, just like your dad did, there's a whole, you've got a whole new way to now encourage your son to do cool shit.
Oh, for sure.
Whether that's jet skis or whatever, or your daughter, whatever. There's all sorts of awesome stuff you can do now.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just like, living through them, like seeing it, it's kind of weird. It's like, okay, we're going to do this all over again. And it might not be me being the main character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just look at what my dad did with us and I'm like, okay.
Now you get it.
I get it. Yeah. We're going to do this again. Because there was like, I think back, there was nothing cooler than watching my dad rip around on a bike. It's still to this day, it's like, dude, that guy ripped. Like, that was sick.
Yeah.
Even if it was, not his prime or whatever. It doesn't matter when you're a kid. It's like,
no, but it doesn't matter. Your kid thinks you're the coolest guy in the world anyway, so it doesn't matter. I am so stoked to have my kid grow up with bikes and hanging out with all Max and all my buddies here. And, I think it's just cool. It's a good environment.
No,
kids,
it's
I don't think my dad necessarily thinks so, but but he didn't come from that background. I think it's awesome. I think it's the best influence you can give him.
I think so.
Yeah.
And
it's not a problem.
Okay.
We're at 127, so we should probably wrap it up here pretty quick. But
I don't even know what
you guys have anything else?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't even know exactly what we covered. Like, I feel like
it doesn't matter. This was
honestly,
awesome.
dude,
This- just the story.
No, we
was
covered
killer.
everything we needed.
Well,
Yeah, this is exactly what we wanted.
I just feel like dude, I'm serious. I should have watched some fucking videos and remembered
no.
because I'm like,
No,
dude,
man,
when
it's
did
good.
that happen?
This is
Like,
what we
what
wanted.
point?
Well, we don't know the difference. It doesn't matter. The fact that you told us an awesome story is it's totally weird. This was epic. I loved it. This was so cool.
I mean, we're gonna have 52 of these things a year, so having you on and breaking the mold and having some time to just kick back and chat. And
Dude,
talk and hear stories and stuff.
this is
Absolutely
excellent.
fantastic.
I love
Well,
this
yeah,
stuff.
and also spotlight a sport that isn't widely known.
Yeah, no, good point.
Yep.
Well, I'd love to do this kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's All Wheels podcast, but we're all into all sorts of cool shit, and like this is so right up the alley of what we want to talk about. And does it have wheels? No, who cares? This is rad as fuck, and you are rad as fuck. And this was awesome, man. I'm totally.
And you should definitely come back and let's and
Brady. I want to hear
Freestyle
Brady's
too.
start to finish on that because I've only heard pieces of it. I want to hear the entire thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to do that too.
Yeah, I think you could see the FTR right there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was. I've been looking at
there
that.
it is.
That's a cool bike.
They are. When you first got your FTR 1200 Indian, you let me ride it, and I came back shaking.
Is it that nice?
And oh my
dude,
goodness.
Evan, it's so gnarly.
It's one of.
I've never ridden one. I'd love to.
I've already mentioned on the podcast that the Husky 701 Supermoto is probably the best bike ever made.
That's on my list too. I need to ride one of those.
I haven't rode one either. That's on my list.
The FTR, it's close. If not, it's there.
Yeah.
It is an awesome bike.
I looked around at them. I wanted a newer bike, and I tell you, I guess I did in the last week. I sold my Dyna finally, my old trusty Purple Dragon with 90,000 miles. And I bought the Stelvio. Oh yeah, we talked about that the other day. But so I bought the Moto Guzzi, which I love. It's gonna be a great bike. But I looked at FTRs because I had our buddy Billy's neighbor has one, and I'd been looking at it, but I just couldn't. I didn't want to spend more than about $8,000. I looked around everywhere, and I just couldn't find one.
Dude, I just
so I gave up.
They're fucking way too expensive at the start.
Yeah, I'll get one. I'm just gonna wait till prices come down.
Well, Zach, the one that you got, it was the first FTR 1200 and what, like that landed. Right?
It was
one
the
of the
fourth.
first five, I think.
Really?
It was the fourth registered one.
No
That's
way.
right. Yeah.
What year is it? When did they start?
19.
I don't even know. Oh, 19. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. That's a cool bike. That's a really cool bike.
They're gnarly, dude. It's like I had no idea what I was getting into. Like I planned on just test riding it, and then one thing turned into another, and I bought it without even test riding it. Which I was like, dude, I've already seen the videos. I see what they're doing. It makes sense. Like they're thinking about it because, dude, I was just getting so let down with Harley. Like we went to Rusty Butcher's debut of that bike, and we're thinking, dude, it's a flat track bike. And we opened the box, and it was a fucking Fat Bob, and we're just like, is this? We're like, where's Ashton Kutcher?
Where's the camera?
What is this?
Exactly.
And then it was like the teasers for Indian started dropping after that, and it was like, okay, like they're fucking paying attention and they're seeing this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
where isn't Rusty Butcher around like Temecula or something?
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah,
around
he
there?
moved out to Temecula. Yeah.
Where are you at now? Are you still in Oceanside?
No,
or
I'm in
something?
Canyon Lake now.
Oh, Canyon Lake.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So I'm right in between Temecula and Corona.
Yeah, no, I know exactly where that is. That's awesome. I've got a buddy that has a house there. That lake is sweet.
Nice. I just grabbed a boat on Friday.
Are you actually in the community there? You're like in the lake area?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's rad, man. Cool.
So he's on a
Nice
golf
spot.
cart most.
That's my
of
other
his days at
transport.
home.
Nice. Dude, that's awesome. That's Canyon Lake's rad, man. That's a great spot.
It's super fun.
Nice.
It's super fun.
Yeah. Right on.
Well, I don't know if we should start to wind it down.
Yeah, I
yet
think
again,
so. I think we should. But
Zach, I can't thank you, and I know I'm speaking for all of us. Can't thank you enough for being on and telling stories about jet skis and also explaining a bit about jet skis because I I know it's not a talked about subject a lot.
No, but it's so fucking
freaking
cool. It needs to be.
And I know I've mentioned this, and I know the rest of us are serious about having you on again because we haven't even tapped into some of your other many talents as far as flat track racing.
Dude, I would be honored to be back. It would be very cool. I hope it went well. I don't know how much we touched on the skis themselves more than I went on this
I'm not worried.
life story kind of thing, but I don't know. I'm just out here riffing it, I guess.
No, I think that's what.
No, man, that's what it's all about.
That's what we want to hear. I want to hear what you did and what your stories were and stuff. This was epic. It's so cool. No, I love it.
For our listeners, for everybody out there, go check out Zack Bright's YouTube channel. You can watch his. Escapades.
What is your YouTube or Instagram? Like, what do you have? You want to?
Yeah, so my YouTube is Tight I Thrash. That was my screen name back in the day. It's like Tight I Thrash.
Wait, I gotta subscribe. Yeah.
TIGHTITRASH.
THRASH. Thrash.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, I got you.
That was like a running joke with our friends back in the day. It's like, yeah, Tight I Thrash. Got
it.
So that's
you Californians.
What's your Instagram is ZB Freeride. It's on private because my kids. So I probably won't accept you, but you could look at my profile picture.
Okay.
Oh, one thing I thought earlier but didn't mention. What's for people interested, or even just to get a better idea of what free ride jet ski is all about. Do you have like a quick, like off the top of your head, like video they could watch just to see? Because it's insane.
I'll post something with this episode. What would be a good video or something to post along with this?
I could send you a link.
And you can send it later.
I'll send you a link, but
that would be
for
great.
the listeners, if you just type in Full Gaz, FULLGAZ on YouTube.
Okay.
My buddy Ludo was like one of the best cinematographer guys out there and made some of the freaking coolest videos. That
FULLGAZ.
Yeah, it's like French for full gas.
I'm getting a lot of bike ridings.
Yeah, there's a lot of moto stuff, but if you kind of comb through, there's some jet ski stuff, and that guy's videos were unreal. There was another video. There's a video I don't remember who the handle was, but it's like Daytona Freeride 2017. I don't know. If you type in Daytona Freeride and maybe type my name in, it might pop up. That video.
Are you in any rad videos that were like sold? You know, like I always watched snowboarding videos growing up and stuff. Like, are you in any rad videos like that?
I was in Blosian had a trick tip video, which was a super cool idea. It's called Fistful of Foam.
Okay.
And that's like, it runs through everything, like what you should do to your ski, like how to do certain tricks, like how to do all this. Super cool.
Is that on YouTube?
I don't know if it's on YouTube.
There it is, a Blosian trick tips.
There you go. So I got actually robbed in that video because
it's on Vimeo.
I was riding an aftermarket hull, and the sponsor was like, well, we don't like support that aftermarket hull, but fast forward, that's the only hull they sell. So I got absolutely robbed out of a riding part. But I'm in there talking with Ross about, I think, a freaking battery tray or something. And it's a pretty funny edit of me. Just like, I don't know. It's whatever. Rise of the Tide was a sick video from Liquid Militia that's now Risen Wild. If you look up Rise of the Tide, that's probably a sick one. But as far as like the DVDs and stuff like that, dude, it was kind of like that weird limbo time where it was like nobody's really doing. It's like that Instagram, YouTube kind of time frame where it was like, who's going to sit and watch an hour? Like, people are so short-minded now. So
5 minutes is all you got, kind of thing for people's attention.
Yeah, but I remember like when like dirt, like Crusty Demons and all these rad dirt bike videos and stuff. I mean, those were early. A lot of those were early 2000s and stuff.
Dude, they're
right?
super sick.
I remember watching the shit out of those for 10
Dude, I
years.
had an idea.
Well, yeah,
I was-
because they were around for 10 years.
Damn, I would have
20
watched you.
years.
I would have watched. I'm looking at one of your videos. Zack Bright gets super flips.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
On your
That
YouTube
was a good
channel,
one.
and you're just, it's rad because you got the camera mounted on the pole, and you're just stomping these massive.
That was the first ones.
Holy shit!
I just
that's
went out
cool.
and was like, I'm just gonna do it today. I'm gonna make it happen.
Oh my god, it's so rad, dude!
I know
You're my
we can
hero.
keep-
This is awesome.
I know we can keep going for like, all right, but one more thing. Do you know if, because you had mentioned Oceanside,
Yes.
where Oceanside Harbor, where you guys would jet out to. Is that still going on? Because I know there was a pretty big, or at least like for the area, like kind of a locals kind of scene of ride out from Oceanside Harbor and then practice, free ride, hit some waves. Does that still happen? Do you?
Yes.
Do you know?
Still happening. Yep.
That's awesome.
John,
That is
Oside
super
John,
cool.
Oside Matt, there, Randy, like all those dudes are still out there. There's a lot of new guys. It's pretty wild actually seeing there's a group of dudes that are out there doing it, and I've never even met them, you know.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
cool.
They're out there with the same passion, and they're out there trying to progress. So that is definitely still happening. The Pismo scene's kind of slowed down, but at the same time, I don't know if it's because I don't know who it is that I'm not seeing it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Sure.
Gotcha.
Because I kind of just like when everything, like I said before, when everything happened, I was kind of like, whatever. I'm not really going to pay attention to this
Yeah.
much, but I think there is a crew out there. I don't know who they are. Like Mark went out there for the free ride and he said, dude, there's a ton of new faces out here. Same with the Daytona free ride. That's been going on for like, dude, like I think this is like 16 years they've been doing it. Same thing, tons of new faces. There's a Virginia free ride that just went down. Looked like a bunch of dudes were out there. Australia finally had a free ride. My buddy Ryan Solomon got on the podium, which was radical. You know, me and Ryan went to Pastrana's house together, so it was cool to see him, you know, get back on the box. And so there's definitely some scenes that are popping up, and from what I'm hearing, it's starting to grow again, which is crazy because the price of jet skis is just stupid. Like, it's insane what people are paying for old equipment now. I mean, you guys know about it with the All Wheels podcast. You want to buy a motorcycle? 5 years ago, that motorcycle was $1,000.
Yeah, bikes. are
Everything's
nuts
out of
now, man.
control.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, to answer your question, yes, those guys are still out there shredding. It's still there. So hopefully we'll get back out there soon.
Well, then let's help get the word out. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
The tenacity of passion.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of. What's really cool is like, I love hearing this about something I haven't thought about in years. I had nothing to do with any of this. I just liked riding a stand-up jet ski, but it's just so cool. And there's probably tons of this kind of stuff going on that like we don't even know about, you know, in all sorts of cool sports that we don't even think about. So I think that's a cool thing to uncover. I think we need to look more into that. But
Yeah, dude, the niche sports are pretty rad.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, it's awesome.
Yeah, and what's really cool about it is, and what we got a little taste of from you is in the niche sports is the athletes, the stars of it. They're there because they're so passionate about it.
Yeah, you have to be, right. There's no other
100%.
reason you're there.
Because the
Yeah.
struggle is so much more.
Mhm.
Is it's
The struggle's
not,
gnarly, dude.
It's not because it's easy. It's because it's hard.
Yeah,
And I think a president said that at some point. But
probably.
but it applies to this as well.
Dude, that's awesome. All right, I'll tell you what, guys. Let's wrap this up here. Yeah, your video did. Hey, Zach, thanks, man. This was epic.
Yeah,
Really
anytime.
Super cool. We will have you back. Right on. Okay, thanks for checking out All Wheels Podcast. This interview with Zack Bright was fucking epic, and I think everybody will think so. And I'm really stoked to start a super rad interview, and we'll do more of them. We're gonna find more people, but I tell you what, Zach's gonna be back so we can hang out and have some fun.
Yeah.
Check out allwheelspodcast.com. You can contact us at contact@allwheelspodcast.com, and somebody send me an email. I set up the goddamn email address. Like, just send
I'm
me
gonna send you
send
one.
me one.
I'll send
Oh,
you
yeah,
one.
even if it's Max, I don't care. Just somebody email me. And check us out on Instagram at All Wheels Podcast. And yeah, tell us what you want to hear.
Check out Zach on YouTube.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Tight I Thrash. I was just watching some of the videos. It's definitely worth checking out.
All right, guys, we gotta go. I ripped my whole post off my mic stand off.
Jesus. All right, we're falling apart faster. All right, we'll be back next time. I don't know what we're talking about next time. It'll be something cool. So we'll see you then.
great.
All right, see you guys.
Take care.
You.